I'm a chess master, and today I'm going to be showing you exactly what happens in the mind of a chess master when they're playing the entire game. Watch the full video, use what I help you with, and your ratings will go through the roof. First opponent is 24-15. Let's go e5. All right, I'm going to be going with the Petrov defense this time around. Whenever they take the pawn, I play d6, first chasing away the knight. Then I take the pawn on e4. And after d4, I play d5, just guarding the knight. Bishop to d3. I'm also going to go bishop d6. And it's just regular development after this, to be honest. They castle, I castle, c4. If I take, I lose the knight. So I'm going to play c6 to defend my pawn on d5. And then after this knight c3 move, because my knight on e4 is under so much pressure, I like to just take on c3. And once the pawn takes, I take on c4. So that way the bishop no longer covers this diagonal. That way I'm able to go bishop f5. And from here, all I need to do is develop my knight. And I mean, I'm doing fine. Like, I'm not losing out of the opening. He's attacking my queen. I'm just going to move the queen out the way and counterattack this weak pawn on c3. And then I need to think about where am I going to be putting my knight. Usually the knight goes to d7 though. Okay, the bishop went back to d3, which is applying some pressure to my bishop. If I takes, queen takes, and then the pawn is guarded, I don't necessarily have to react to it though. That's the thing, because the queen is already guarding the bishop. So I'm just going to be using the time to develop my knight to d7, so that way my development is complete. And now I just need to get some control over the open files. For example, rook to e8. Definitely going to be playing h6 as well, chasing away the bishop, which is why he just pulled the bishop back, which means I may not play h6 anymore. I'm assuming this bishop is going back to g3. My rook needs to go on the file. I'm thinking knight b6 to d5. Knight b6, pawn c5, c4 could be a possibility though. With that being said, let me just put my rook on the open file. First, rooks needs files. That's crucial. Bishop went back to g3. I mean, I was expecting that move. I had a nice bishop. His bishop wasn't so good. I'm not really trying to trade the dark squared bishops off the board though. Like, okay, I do not really lose anything from trading the bishops. I'm thinking of just pulling the bishop back to f8, just to keep more pieces on the board if I'm trying to win. But okay, I'm not gonna lose anything just to trade. Also, it's kind of hard for him now that his pawns are doubled. And now I'm thinking of moves like bishop to g4, pinning his knight, applying some pressure here, or I could just swing my next rook in the game. Let's just keep things simple. Like, all my pieces are now actively doing something. It should be harder for me to lose this position. My b7 pawn is unprotected, so I need to ensure that I know what I'm doing with that pawn. Maybe just pawn to b6. Queen c2 is a nice move. There's a lot of pressure that is being applied to my light squared bishop, so let's just trade it off. And then once he takes, I'm thinking of just knight c5. A very nice move. My rook is on the same line as his queen. Knight c5, there is queen to f5, but upon queen f5, it's funny because I'm able to play knight to b3. And once he trades queen, I take with the knight, and it's just going to be an endgame, which is not too bad because I like my structure. So let's go with it. Let's go knight c5 in this position. Now, knight c5, the plan is actually to play knight e4, which is why he puts his queen here. And if I play any move, well, there should be rook to d5 here. Rook d5. Yeah, let's just go with what I said. Knight to b3, he's not able to take my knight due to the unprotected queen. So I'm going to play knight to b3. He also has to trade the queens off the board because I'm attacking his rook. So after takes, you could say my knight is heading towards the c4 square. This is just an equal endgame, by the way, which is good for black because usually white is the one who is pushing for the advantage. So from here, I'm just trying to get my king in the game. So what I'm going to do to get my king in the game, I'm going to play f6. The purpose of f6 is to play king f7, but I'm also trying to prevent the knight from coming to e5 or g5. So it's like a multi-purpose move. But this is usually how games go at the higher level when stronger persons are playing. Knight back to d2 is good because he's basically saying, I'm going to leave your knight on the edge of the board doing nothing. And let me just get my king in the game. The knight is on the same file as my rook, which is unprotected. So I am thinking of playing pawn to c5, but he decided to play knight to e4, which is a good move. And I have to be careful about any checks on my king. Knight to c5 is also a possibility, but I should be able to play pawn to b6 and chase away his knight. So now should be the time when I simply play knight to c4, just getting my knight into the game. Again, it's just an equal endgame, so it's going to be some very slight mistakes, which gives someone the advantage. The knight is on c5. There's either pawn b6 or knight d6. They both do something, but pawn to b6 is the more aggressive way to defend my pawn. Usually in the end game, you don't want to be moving the pawns up the board too much. Knight to d3, that's a suspicious move because the knight is unprotected and I'm able to play c5. Pawn c5, he takes, king takes, same trouble. Rook d1 check, I put the king on f7, same trouble. Maybe rook e4, but then I take and, his pawn is a bit isolated and that's going to give me some winning chances. If I take, I'm assuming he's going to take with the knight. That's the thing. I'm assuming he's going to take with the knight. So I'm just going to go ahead and immediately hit him with c5. So I'm assuming he's going to take. I'm going to take with the king. So that way the knight stays unprotected, which means he's not able to take here. And then after rook takes, I'm going to go king to f7. Okay, I need to play faster. I need to play faster. Let's play a bit faster. Rook e4, I'm expecting. And then, okay, am I able to do anything? Maybe knight d2, hit the rook, rook moves. Let's just take. Yeah, let's just take. And he has an isolated pawn on d4. I'm going to call that an advantage for myself. And because he has an isolated pawn, I'm going to start attacking the isolated pawn. So first I'm going to play knight d6 to hit the rook. But my whole entire plan is actually to play knight f5 or knight b5 to attack the d4 pawn, which is the weak pawn. And as we said in the end of the game, the goal is to attack the pawn. So rook f5 was played. He's also attacking my pawn, which I have to defend. So let's just play h6. We have to play a bit fast. The threat now is to play knight f5. If I'm able to play knight f5, it forks the king and the rook. And then I'm going to be ahead by a pawn, which should be giving me a winning advantage. His rook is also kind of misplaced, to be honest. What is he going to play here? I think I'm better. He pushed the pawn, which makes a whole lot of sense. But okay, let's think. If I hit the rook comes here, and if I takes, he takes. Have to be patient. Maybe knight b5. That's what I'm gonna play. Knight b5 still hits the pawn. If knight there, I'm able to fork. If knight here, I hit the knight. So let's go knight b5. If he plays a4, I take and I hit the knight. Now if the rook goes to a5, my knight guards the a pawn. I'm just trying to win his weak pawn. I don't want to rush it though, but I want to ensure that I'm precise. There's also knight c3, which hits both of the pawns at the same time. And usually when someone is down by a pawn, they're going to start playing very fast. So the moment I win the pawn, I have to ensure that I play very fast as well. But let's see. So the knight went to b4 to guard the pawn. I'm thinking of just playing knight to c3, but my overall plan was to play a5 and attack the knight. Knight c6 I takes, and I am not getting forked. So let's hit the knight. So knight c6, we just grab the pawn, and I should be fine. I'm just chilling here, to be honest. And okay, I'm ahead by a pawn, but I still need to convert this, and I still need to play fast. He counterattacked my knight, which is suspicious. If I take his knight, he takes my knight. I take his pawn, he takes my pawn. I take his knight, he takes my knight. Okay, we can't do that. Maybe knight c3 then. Because eventually he's going to have to move his knight anyways. So maybe just knight c3. Yeah, let's go knight c3. His knight is still under attack. If he plays knight c6, I'm still going to take. But then he plays rook c4. If I take his knight... Wait, did this guy just blunder? Rook c4, I just take his knight and guard my knight. What is this? Let's just take the knight. I think he just blundered. I'm winning. That's just a free knight. He resigns. This one is 2267. We're still going to be playing e5 here. Let's do the Petrov defense again. He took. Let's play d6, chasing away the knight. Then we take on e4. Oh, we're seeing the same thing. d4 we play d5. Bishop d3 we play bishop d6. It's the same exact game from before. He castle, I castle. Are we going to be seeing c4? We saw c4, c6 guard the pawn. Are we going to see knight c3? Knight c3 we take. It's the same thing. And then we take, followed by bishop to f5. This is the position. Let's see if he's going to play like he's playing the exact moves. Queen a5. Okay, let's hit the pawn. In the game before, the guy played bishop back to d3. What will this guy play? Queen to d2. Okay, we saw something a bit different. All right, queen to d2, guard the pawn. Like, I'm thinking just h6, just chasing away the bishop. There is bishop back to f4 though. And then if I takes, there's queen takes. Yeah, that's probably it's not time. Let's just develop. I need to develop. This was the last move I played last time, and I won the game from doing it. So let's just develop. And then what I did was I got my rooks on the file, but he got his rook on the file earlier. That's not bad. Okay, I'm thinking of just playing knight b6 here to hit the bishop, and I don't think it's a bad move. Let's try that. Let's go knight b6, hit the bishop. I'm expecting him to pull the bishop back, but he pulled the bishop back here, which is interesting. How about knight d5? Knight d5 applies pressure to this pawn. And okay, if you give up the bishop for the knight, I'm happy with that. So I'm going to go with knight d5. As you guys can see, I'm trying to play a bit faster. So knight d5, there's two pieces attacking this pawn. He's only guarding it once. Rook c1 is a weird move. Maybe I should be able to just do a removing the guard tactic and grab the rook. Pawn c4 is interesting, but it's a blunder. Because if pawn c4 hits the knight, there's bishop b4 because the queen and the rook is on the same line. Okay, what is he going to play? If he rook c1 was played, so he guarded it with the rook. Isn't this just removing the guard, hit the rook? And then once the rook move, I take. Okay, we have to play fast. Let's try that. Let's go bishop a3. Like these guys, they don't play slow. That's the thing. Like they don't think about their moves. So you just have to trust your intuition. Because the moment you think for 2 minutes and you're 2 minutes behind on the clock, then you're just gonna be under so much pressure. So I'm expecting rook d1 or rook a1. If rook d1, then if I take on c3, there's actually bishop takes d5, which is a removing the guard tactic. Because if I take the queen, there's an in-between move. And if I take with the knight, then my knight is pinned. Okay, it's actually tricky. Take with the knight. His rook is under attack, but I'm not going to be able to take the rook. That's the thing. And if I takes, there's also rook to e5. Ah, did I just rush this? If queen takes, there's removing the guard. I take. He takes with check. I takes. And then there's knight takes. So maybe go bishop g4 first and just try to double up his pawns. It's not a bad move. Rook e5. If he finds rook e5, then no. Maybe no queen takes c3 is a threat. Because if rook e5, queen c3, bishop takes, I grab the queen. No. It's weird. He has more time. He finally decided to give up the bishop for the knight. And the question is, how do I recapture? If I take with the queen, there's rook e5. Okay. I'm going to take with the queen because if rook e5 and I move the queen, his rook is on a compromising position. Because there's f6, there's bishop d6. So let's do that. My issue is both of my bishops are unprotected and none of my rooks are in the game. Oh, I'm actually playing without any light. Let me go and turn on my lights. All right, you guys should be seeing me a bit better now. Okay, let's think. Knight is pinned and I'm applying pressure to the knight. I also have the bishop here, but both of them are unprotected. Rook to e5 was played. Let's quickly find somewhere for the queen. d7 I'm going to go. Because on d7, at least this is guarded and this is guarded. And the knight is still pinned, and pawn f6 is a fork, and bishop back to d6 hits the rook. And then I can still try to swing my rooks in the game. So that's not too bad. Okay, let's see. What is he going to play now? So he pulls the rook back, which means there's no fork, and I'm not about to double up his pawns. That's what he's saying. I'm thinking f6. Is it f6 or h6? Not entirely sure. Let's go with h6. Can't go bad if we go h6. It's an attacking move. Bishop has to move. And then my bishop here is not doing anything anymore. So I'm going to pull it back to d3, threatening bishop f4, even though he's able to just pull the bishop back. And if I go rook to... Wait. Rook e8, rook e1, then I take? Because if he takes, I takes, queen takes. That doesn't get me anything, though, and it doesn't get me anywhere. So let's go bishop d6. I'm not winning. That's the thing. I'm just not winning. So I have to just play it like a normal position. I have to just get my pieces in the game. And I'm talking about it, but I'm not doing it because my rooks are still not doing anything. Did this guy just blunder bishop f4? Wait, if let's say I go bishop f4, what's the idea? Rook e7? No. Bishop f4, there's knight e5. But then I take it the queen. Bishop f4, bishop f4, rook e7, I just grab the queen. Bishop f4, there's knight e5, I take, hit the queen. And then after rook takes, both of my pieces are forked. However, queen to f5 keeps my bishop guarded. No, it's not queen to f5. It's queen to c8. Queen to c8, so that way, if he attacks my bishop again, I'm able to pull it back. I'm going for it. Let's go bishop f5. Looks like he just blundered something. That was weird. All I did was threaten it and he blundered it. So, okay, 90. Oh, he played immediate 95. Yeah, but I talk about this. I just take it the queen. Yeah, take it the queen. If he takes, then I take the queen, hit the rook. So he has to take with either the queen or the rook. If he takes with the queen, then queen to e6, I would play. If he takes with the, oh, he took with the queen. I'm like, okay, I'm winning now. Queen e6, because if the knight takes, I just takes. There's no discovered attacks. If h3, I just pull back. Nice. Nice. We're winning. We're winning again. And I'm attacking the unprotected pawn, which I'm not going to take because the knight is attacking my bishop. It's also opposite colored bishops. And I'm also seeing a little idea where I go f5, f5, f4, hit the queen, and then g5, trap the bishop. I'll never do that though. I'll never do that. Oh. Okay, queen to f4. I forgot about queen to f4. No, because my pieces are on the same line as the rook. Can I play rook to e8 first? So that way, if he takes my bishop, he's mated. Rook e8, there's f3 though. That's the thing. f3 is very strong. Pawn g5 appears to be a fork. Pawn g5. Nah, I'm never gonna ever play that move. Okay, just pull the bishop back to f5. He wants a discovered attack on my rook, so I'm gonna give it to him. It doesn't gain much. Plus, he has to go back if he wants to keep his pieces guarded. So all I need to do is just ensure that I play fast. That's a fork, but I'll never ever play that move. We don't push pawns on the side that our king is on. Okay, so my queen is on the same line as his rook. I should not be afraid because the only square he could put his knight where my queen is under attack is f3. So, okay, bishop went back. Bishop went back. Not a free pawn as yet since I'm going to lose this. With that being said, let's just pull my bishop back to h7. Now that I pull my bishop back to h7, my bishop is now safe. Good. Now I need to get my rooks in the game. If he pulls the knight back, I'm not going to lie. Oh, queen f5. Yeah, queen f5 is what I'm going to play. He guarded the pawn. He guarded the pawn. He guarded the pawn. Rook to e8. Rook to e8. Let's play fast. Let's play fast. Now moving the knight is actually a blunder due to mate. So he may have to play h3. It's funny because my queen is on the same line as his rook, but I'm not moving because I'm strong. Okay, so h3. Okay, queen f5 is GG's. Because once I play queen f5, he's obviously not going to trade the queen, so he's going to move the queen. But once he moves the queen, I go f6, and I get to trade. And when you're playing these higher rated games, the millisecond you find yourself with extra material, trade, trade, trade. I have 3 minutes on the clock, which should be enough time to convert this. He moves the queen, pawn to f6, he has a check. But then there's king to f8, king to f8, check I takes. Let's just play f6. Why am I? Yeah, let's just play f6. Let's not calculate. Because if he checks, there's queen e6. What am I saying? So he has to move the knight. And then once he moves the knight, I trade. I don't think about it. I trade. And then he took with the knight. Can I play here and pin the knight? And then PP on the PP. Or I just get my rook in the game. Every piece is now active. I'm chilling. Now we need to convert. If I'm able to trade the queens off the board, it's over. King h2 makes sense. If I could get my bishop on e4, then that would be nice as well. Let's play queen to a5 and target his weak pawns. Oh, he's not able to move the queen due to losing the knight. How is he going to protect the a pawn? Oh, there's bishop to d6. Bishop to d6, then I managed to get my bishop to e4. Honestly, bishop to e4 does nothing. He's just going to play f3. But if he plays f3, I pull the bishop back and I still dominate the knight. Let's do it. Because I'm just trying to trade, to be honest. Let's go bishop e4. If f3, I just pull the bishop back. Once the knight move, remember, bishops are better than knights, but if you have more material than the opponent, that doesn't matter. All right, 2 minutes 30 seconds. Okay, let's not think about it. Do I think about it? Do I have anything else? Maybe queen to d5. Queen d5 hits the bishop and hits. No, let's just take. What's wrong with me? Okay, now queen d5. I'm trying to play queen e4 and trade the queen. His bishop is under attack. He has to pull it back. If he plays bishop to b5, then a5 could be trapping his bishop. So he has to just pull his bishop back. And then I play. What do I play? What do I play? Pawn to b5. No, pawn to c5. No. A6. Pawn to. Let's just play a6 first. Let's play a6 first. I have to play fast. Pawn to c4. Now I play queen to e4. He's not going to trade, obviously, but at least I have a target. Oh, there's queen to b3. Oh, he didn't play queen to b3. Let's go rook to d8. Rook to d8. Rook to d8 hits the pawn. Now I have two pieces attacking the pawn. If he push, I just take and I'm winning. I think I'm winning the pawn. 2 minutes. I have 2 minutes. He has 3 minutes. He's gonna play fast. I'm not gonna be doing any overthinking. If he pushes the pawn, I'm just gonna take. And if he takes it again, I'm gonna play queen takes. I'm not gonna be doing any overthinking. Okay, he attacks this pawn instead. So let's play rook to d7, guarding the pawn. Remember, the winning side doesn't want to be trading pawns. We win pawns. We don't trade pawns. We trade pieces, not pawns. If he push, I takes, no overthinking. Everything is also guarded, and there's no way to attack my unprotected rook. The good thing is, the position is easier for me to play, but he has nothing to lose except the game. So he's just going to play fast. If you lose, then you lose. So the only way in which he has a chance is to play fast. So he push, take, no overthinking. And if he checks, I block, no overthinking. Good. This is also under attack. And I want to put my rook on this file. Good. Wait. Please just play, bro. Just play. Okay, let's go here. Bishop to d6 is annoying. Bishop to d6 is very annoying. Okay, let's go rook f7. My rook is not active. How am I going to win this game? Maybe I'm going to be pushing up the pawns on the side that my king is on. Let's break some rules. Oh, there's b6. b6 is strong because if he takes, I take the bishop and then I'm going to take. I'm going to play b6 next. Okay, boom, he has a check. Oh no, it doesn't work. Let's play king h7 first. King h7. Like the good thing is every pieces that I have protect each other. This is peak piece coordination. This is what you guys want to achieve, even when you're in the opening. Okay, the time is leveling out. I like that. I love it. Pawn to g5 is also a nice move, but pawn to b6 is what I want to surprise him with. If he plays queen to d8, okay, let's hit him with pawn b6. No overthinking. If he takes, I takes, that pawn is not going anywhere, which means he has to protect the pawn. So let's say queen b4, I take, bishop takes. Okay, let's take. Let's not think about that. And then after bishop takes, I check. No, yes. No, 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 let's push. Yeah, let's push. Let's just push. I'm trying to start some attack on my king. I mean, my pieces are stronger than his anyways. My a6 pawn is the weakest pawn that I've seen. I have more time than him. Calm down. Calm down, bro. You have more time than him. If he checks, I block. F3, I play. F3, I play A5. I shouldn't have played A5. A5 is legit just a trick. If he takes the pawn, rook F5 wins the bishop. Okay, that was embarrassing. He didn't fall for it. Sometimes you have to. Okay, rook F5 hits the bishop still. So my pawn is going to be guarded. He moves the bishop. Queen D2 hits the bishop. No. Bro, just play. Okay, rook to G5. I want to target this pawn. If I get my queen on F1, okay, let's block with the queen. He has to move his queen. And then I'm going to go queen G6. Good. Target this pawn, which is not, he's not able to defend it. It's over. GG's. Nice. Okay, he pushed, but we en passant. That's a fork. We take, and he's about to resign or get mated. So he pulls the queen back. Okay, I'm going to sack the rook. It's impossible to lose this endgame being up by so many pawns. This is why endgame has to be strong. Because I sacrificed an entire rook just knowing that this endgame is winning. And I'm only ahead by one pawn. Okay, let's go king over. Maybe it wasn't necessary though. Okay, let's start rolling the pass pawn now. That was bad. Okay, let's push. The good thing is I have a pass pawn, so he's about to get foxed in the chicken coop, I think. Even if he push, I'm gonna go back. He's losing. I don't think sacrificing the rook was obviously not necessary, but it's not just a winning position for me. Let's just get the pawn up the board. Okay, let's stalemate the game. Now I go here, and once he moves, I push. Okay, and then I have a queen on the board. Let's go. Let's go. Grab the pawn. Check. Oh, that was not a check, but that's a check. Okay, now we just need to not stalemate the game. Okay, let's go here, grab the pawn. No, I'm not gonna lose this. Can't lose now. Okay, let's not promote to two queens. I'm not promoting to two queens. And that's just a checkmate. Okay, this opponent is 2369, and he's also a FIDE master. He's playing the pure defense. Let's go d4, knight c3. He's actually playing the modern defense. How do you even play against this opening? Okay, if you don't know what to do, just develop the pieces. I'm going to be following my own rule to try to get a good position. Now that he plays d5, if I takes, he takes. If I play queen d2, he takes, he wins a pawn, which means I may have to take on d5. And then once he takes back, I'm going to play queen d2. Okay, this is not bad. I could castle on the queen side, but he just played pawn to a6, which means he's probably going to start some pawn storm business, or maybe he just don't want me to play this. With that being said, let's just develop first. Let's just develop. I'm not sure where I'm going to get castled. I like the idea of knight e5 though. Knight e5, if he takes, I takes. Nah, I don't like the idea of knight e5. I like the idea of just developing my pieces like what a principled person would do. How does this work? It's not d3, so it has to be e2 or just castle. If I castle, I'm going to get brutally attacked. So let's go bishop e2. Oh God, never mind. I thought I just blundered queen b6. But now he plays bishop g4, which means he's threatening to take my knight, which is one of the only defender of my d4 pawn. I should have played h3. Okay, knight e5. No, I'm probably have to play knight e5. Knight e5. If he takes, I have knight takes. Yeah, let's go knight e5. I'm I just don't know how to play against this opening, unfortunately. So he took. Do I take it, the queen? Nah, let's just take. Let's take with the knight, and I'm probably going to castle on the king side just to keep things less complex because I'm not 100% sure what's happening. And I'm not going to take risk when I don't know what's happening. Okay, what do I do? Pawn to f3. Yeah, let's go pawn to f3. Pawn to f3 prevents his knight. Pawn to f3 prevents his knight from coming to e4, but I played f3, so I'm not going to be able to castle on the king's. I'm going to castle on the king side. I just know it. I can feel it in my bones. If I castle on the queen side, I'm going to be getting checkmated. I cannot castle on the queen side. With that being said, if he plays queen to b6, I am probably forced to castle on the queen side. Because otherwise, I have to play a move like b3. Nobody wants to play b3. His internet is okay. I thought his internet was gonna get disconnected. I mean, I would take it. So he castled the king. I'm thinking of takes bishop e5, but nah. If I castle, there's still queen b6. Castle, queen b6. That's something that I could live with. I can live with that. I'm not getting checkmated, which means if he plays queen b6 now, I have pawn c3. It's actually crazy. This is so similar to the Joe Bava London setup. Pawn e6 takes. Knight on e2 is just not doing anything. Like, do something. Okay, pawn c3 just seems like a natural move. Let's go pawn c3. What to do with my e2 knight? Knight d7 was played. That's not a bad move. I don't want to take on c6. If I take on c6, eventually he's going to play pawn to c5. So let's just take on d7. And I think this bishop is better than my bishop. So let's go bishop h6. Plus, we always want to exchange the opponent's fianchetted bishop anyways. After this trade, then I'm going to be able to hold my own. The thing is, if the opponent plays an opening that you're not familiar with, don't complicate the position. Just play regular development moves. You don't necessarily have to be winning. Just ensure that you're not losing. I actually didn't want him to take on h6 because of this cool little idea to put his knight on f5, hit my queen. I mean, I could play knight g3, But my knight just does nothing on g3. I don't want my knight there. So I'm going to just pull my queen back. Let's just pull the queen back. It's fine. I want to do something like knight f4 to d3 to c5. So his knight is on f5, not doing anything. My knight is on f4, also not doing anything. But the moment it lands on d3, it's chaos. Oh, he's going for the same plan. He wants his knight on c4. Okay, let's go knight d3. Knight c4, I just move, and hopefully I'm able to just trade off the knight. Like, for example, knight to e5, pawn to b6. He's preventing my knight from going here, but I can always play this move. I'm not going to play b3, by the way, guys, because it weakens my c-pawn. Let's play knight e5. Let's get rid of the knight. Pieces on our half of the board, we get rid of them. And then once he takes, I take back. How do I take back? Not sure. Taking with the pawn is interesting, but I may take with the queen. Let's take with the queen. I'm just not trying to make any unnecessary risk. That's all. Pawn to f6 is interesting. Hmm. Hmm. E6 is weak. Hmm. Okay, let's go queen e2. I'm keeping an eye on the a6 pawn so that way it's harder for him to swing the rook in the game. Obviously, he's trying to play e5, so I'm going to play f4 to prevent it. And then I'm going to put every single major piece that I have to attack that weak pawn. Now he's trying to trade the queens off the board. Okay, if I take stakes, he has the ugliest double pawns ever. Am I going to be able to attack those double pawns, though? I'm not sure, but it's a double pawn. It's it's a double pawn at the end of the day. Hmm. Okay, he wants to push, so let's go rook to e1. I'm still trying to double up on the hmm. Okay, let's go rook to e2. I'm trying to double up on the e file. The rook is attacking my a pawn, so I have to play a3. I'm not gonna lie, I have a very long-term plan here. He obviously wants to play b4 and get rid of his double pawns. I'm not gonna allow that. Let's play a3. That's what I wanted to play anyways. Now I'm gonna play rook to e1 and target his e6 pawn. I'm going to confidently say that white is slightly better here. Let's hit the pawn. He's going to guard it from the side, which makes a lot of sense. Now I just need to get my king in the game. So the long-term plan that I was telling you guys about was actually to get my king all the way over here. So let's go king to d3, then king e3, king d3. It has more time on the clock, but it seems as if he's prone to making mistakes. Okay, he maybe wants to play g5, which is not a bad move. Let's go king to d3. On g5, I take. On f5, his position is now just weak. Okay, I think he's trying to draw. Okay, let's go king back. Let's continue with the long-term plan. King activity is crucial in the endgame. I mean, g5, g5 I'm just going to take. And then after rook takes, play king up. If he plays rook c4, I'm not able to grab the pawn because I'm going to lose my pawn. But what if I still do it? Rook c4 takes, rook here, rook c4 takes, rook takes, rook here, hit the pawn, and then this rook is coming in. Yo, if he plays rook c4, I'm taking the pawn. But by the way, if you're trying to win the endgame, do not trade the pawns. I'm just trying to win this position. It's so he pulls his rook back. It's crazy. If I play king to b4, I'm going to get checkmated. So change our plans. Let's play rook f1. Let's put the rook on the same line as this king, so that way g4 becomes a possibility. Rook f3 to rook h3 is also a possibility. So he plays h5. Let's go rook f3. I want to play rook h3. Remember, in the end game, the goal is just to attack the pawns. And guys, I'm not going to lie. My plan from now is to bring the king back to e5. And for all of the person who don't believe me, just watch this. Okay, let's be patient. Let me get my king over first. Let's go king here, king here. I don't want him to be able to tactically play b4. So let's get the king somewhere first. See, now he's starting to take. So let's go here. Up all this time, there was rook to e4, and I didn't even know about rook to e4. So he moves the king. Okay, first okay, let's go. Am I losing? Rook e3. He's playing very fast. Rook e5. If takes, takes. Let's just do it. It complicates the game. Maybe I'm slightly worse, but if I'm trying to win, I have to give him a chance to, think he's winning. E5 is also a very nice move. If I takes, there's king takes. If I push, that's a pass pawn, but that's risky. Let's just takes, king takes, g3. Once I play g3, there's no f4. That's okay, that's not a free pawn. Rooks needs files. If he takes, I take. I need to get my rook to infiltrate. He's trying to play here. Um, Dang, am I losing all of a sudden? Okay, let's get the rook all the way around there. Let's get the rook all the way. He's gonna try to attack my pawn, and I'm gonna be forced to defend the pawn. You see, my endgame skills is just my endgame skill needs a lot of work. You know what's funny about this position? I'm also not able to trade the rooks off the board because he's the one with the pass pawn. I have 3 pawns, he has 2 pawns, and they're actually preventing me from making progress. If I check, he goes king up. He's also threatening this. Okay, let's go here. Let's go here to prevent it. Anyways. Now he's able to push. Nah, he can't push. I have check. I mean, if he wants a draw, then that's on him. I misplayed the end game. Hmm. Okay, so he plays rook e6, so that way I do not check his king. I'm going to go back to f2, seeing that he's not threatening this anymore. And if he goes back to a2, I may just go back to g2 again. Like, even though he has the double pawns, his king activity is just better than mine. Now he's pushing his pass pawn, something that I didn't even see. Now if I check okay, let's check. King takes, check. Once he moves the king, I'm going to play king to e3. No, king e3, he moves the... Yeah, let's go king e3. Yeah, let's go king e3. If he moves the rook, I check. He moves the king. If I take, I lose the game immediately, which means I'm forced to check here. Okay, it's drawn. Is there any way I could try to win this game? Let's check again. He goes here. If I takes, he checks. King up, he checks, and I lose. So he moves. Is there any way under the sun I could try to win this game? I'm not seeing how. Like anything I try, then I'm just gonna have a worse position. Sometimes you just have to understand. Like if the opponent plays well, then what can I say? I didn't really play as well. If the king goes here, there's rook here. But again, once he checks and I have to step away from the pawn, then I'm in trouble. It's just drawn. Yeah, let's just take the draw. Good game.